All right, guys. This is the third case of notification section 2, progressive updates. So progressive updates is the combination of the first two cases. So so you can see that what is it? On dot exit function and remove notification. So this is the same as what we saw in section 2, right? So notification disappears when the task is complete, right? So um, we capture the show notification with an object ID and pass that ID to remove notification. That's how we achieve that function, right? Functionality, the message disappearing once the task is complete. The other thing is in first case, in section 1, we have multiple notifications, right? Um, Instead of having multiple notifications, we can update a single notification. So we keep passing this ID, right? So this ID captures first the notification and pass that to the next show notification, right? So let's see Hadley's example here. Control Enter. Oh, no, Control Click. There you go. So you see messages updating here, lower right corner, and then once the task completes, messages go away, right? So let's do that. Let's do that. The other thing here, um, so why is this different than the code in the second case? So instead of show notification, we have notify. It's the same thing. So Hadley created this notify function, which is basically show notification function, but it has this duration set to null and close button set to false as the default value. So we don't have to repeat these arguments. So it is just a way to save space. Okay. So I'm going to show you that in RStudio. Okay. So let's go to RStudio. Let's create the file. So section 3. All right. So let's delete everything here and then shiny app. Now I'm going to copy the code from the textbook uh, just to save time and show you how this notify function is basically the same as show notification. Okay, so I'm gonna paste it here. So I mean, it may be intimidating because there's a lot, and also there's a function notify that we haven't seen before. But again, this notify function is basically show notification. But this duration and close button argument, um, we're having null and false as the default value, so that we don't have to type it. Okay. Um, so let's run this app as it is given in the textbook. Hold on. What? Uh, oh, all right. So when we copy this, Control Z to undo, Control Z. So we don't want to delete this. Control V to paste. All right. So let's run again. What's going on? Run. Um, f.r did not return. Yeah, we put that back in. Section 8.2.3. So let's save it. Run app. There you go. Okay, we just needed to save the file. All right, so this is the same thing we saw in the example in the textbook, right? So let's close the app. Now, I just want to clarify that if you're confused by notify here, it's basically the same as the show notification function, right? But it has null and false for these two arguments, duration and close button. as default value so that we don't have to type it in four different lines, right? It's just a way to write the code in a concise way and save space, right? So what does that mean? So let me show you if you don't um, what the code looks like without this notify function. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put ID. So without notify, you're going to have to type show notification function, and here you wouldn't have ID because here in this step you're creating this ID, right? And duration null, close button false, right? And then let's comment this out. The same thing here. Here we're gonna we need ID here because we created ID object here. We captures this initial notification in ID and pass that to the next notification to update the single uh, notification, right? And we're gonna need that here as well and here as well, right? So now we need a message, right? So we need message, the third message here, and then the last message. And then let's comment this out. Control Shift C, Control Shift C, Control Shift C, right? You see how it's a lot longer? The code is a lot longer, right? And that's why the author of our textbook created this notify a new function and which has the default value null and false for duration and close button arguments so that it's the code looks a lot more concise. And if you run this, it does the same thing, right? There's a message that updates and then it disappears once the task completes, right? All right, that's it for this section, and I'll see you in the next video.